Okay, I'm back. I see your point. Okay, so I'm going to share my tasks. My tasks. Share this. Okay. I don't see my tasks. Hello, can we see this? Okay, good. Um, so what is context? We are going to be checking something called context in Power BI. So what is context in Power BI? Context in Power BI is normally what is context? The situation within which something exists or happens, and that can help explain it. That's context normally. Like if they say, what's the context of this conversation? Like if I was talking with someone and someone wanted to join, we ask, what's the context of this conversation? So I believe that can we all know the meaning of context in inside. So now context in Power BI enables dynamic analysis where results of a formula change to reflect the selected data. So what this means is that um if we are doing a calculation in Power BI, it has to relate to something. Yeah, what we are calculating, it has to relate to something. So are we calculating based on the rule? Are we calculating based on filters? Or are we calculating based on the whole query like the whole data set as a whole? So now moving forward, let me explain row context better. Row context. The row context tells DAX which row to use. It tells DAX which row to use when it needs to obtain the value of a column. You can think of the row context as the current row in a table. Okay, so now um if we have this like the example we used yesterday where Julian ran 2,400 meters and this one ran 4,000 on Monday, and then on Tuesday ran 4,000 meters. Then his total was 6,400. If we are using sum, right? So what sum does in this situation is I'll put the sum here. I'll put equal to sum on this spot. Then I'll put the sum of what he ran on Monday plus sum of what he ran on Tuesday. Then I'll now make sure that it goes all the way. But basically, um, where row context applies here is that row context will only calculate when I say what works here, it's row context, but it only calculates for this row, calculates for each row singularly. It calculates for each row singularly. So now that's what we mean by context, row context. Any calculation that has to do with involving rows individually. Those are things that use row context. I think this is just the why I say we should Bible sometimes and note sometimes because this is a theoretical part. This is a theoretical part of Power BI where we just like have to read up on it later and things like that. So there's also filter context. Yeah, filter context. This is normally just like I said. How does context means how does something relate to something? So now when we say filter context is when we are adjusting when we are working with any subset of data but based on filters. The first one was based on rules, but this one is based on filters. So now we can apply filters and just like yesterday when we're looking for what this something in 2019 was, what it was in December, what it was in this particular month. That's the way filter works because we are separating a particular subset of the data based on filter. It determines which subset of data is included or excluded before that calculation starts. So there are different ways you can apply a filter. That's you can use an attribute in a row or column. You can use a slicer. You can use the filter pane, and we can also use a calculated measure. We'll see all this today in this class. We'll see it today in this class. Yeah. I also even asked ChatGPT to like tell me how you can explain Power BI better. So you can explain context better. So it means that when you think of Power BI context as similar to a photography studio, row context is like setting up individual photo shoots where you adjust the lighting pose and camera settings for each subject, meaning that it's handling one row of data at a time, just like when checking the total distance somewhere. Then filter content is like deciding which photos to include in the final album, For example, you can only select might only select for those with a certain theme or exclude those with imperfections. Also known as filtering out data based on specific criteria. Okay, so now I'm going to I'm introducing a new DAX function here. I'm introducing a new DAX function here called calculate. This is this DAX function is called calculate. So what this calculate does is used to do a whole lot of things. Yeah, it's used to do a whole lot of things. And mostly used to create a measure. Yes, it's mostly used to create a measure. This is the syntax to use it. What most times it will return a single value, which is usually a measure. It filters based on columns, and it will always override filters from the visualizations because you've already calculated it. Like now, if I was looking at the data set and I already put a filter through the visualization, a calculate function will override it. We'll see that in a live demo now. So now let me open up my Power BI. Let me open a brand new Power BI. Or do I continue from the one I used yesterday? Okay, I'm coming. 1 second. Okay, I believe. Okay, so I'm opening my Power BI right now. Presentation audio. Present something else. No, it's measures. Power BI. Here's my Power BI. Please, I'm looking for my Power BI. It doesn't want to show as if it's open or something. Okay. Let me let me just share my entire screen then. If it's like that, that it wants to do. That's why I don't like the loop. Okay. Sorry, can we all see my Power BI screen? Can we see my Power BI screen, please? Hello? No. Jesus. Okay, show my meat. Let me eat my okay, so check. Okay. There's something going on right now that can my Power BI. No, okay, I guess I'll have to restart it. I'm restarting my Power BI, sorry. Okay. Power BI desktop. Ah shit. My laptop is somehow slow today for some reason. Ah, thank God. That's shown. Okay, so now you can see it. You should be able to see it right about now. Okay. Thank God. Okay, so now we are going to be using, I think we are going to be using that sales data set from yesterday. We used to be using that. Yep, let's all use our sales data set as usual. Blank reports, good. Get data sales. basic description of what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be creating a new measure called total sales with increase. Now, what this total sales with increase measure means is that what it does is that it would. I hope you can all hear me, Sha, as usual. Okay. What this new total sales with increase will do is that it's going to account for inflation. Like now, if you had a company, right, and then with time, there's definitely an inflation, like an increase in price all along at the FA, and then dollar has risen and all that. So you're going to want to make sure that your company can account for, okay, with inflation, what would these prices be? I mean, what would we have sold or something like that? What would our money be like right now? So now, we're going to open that same data set, and from yesterday, okay, let's load our data. Visuals. Are any of us using our systems right now? Okay. Like that is what this means. So now we are using that sales data set from yesterday, and then my laptop is pretty slow today. I do not like this. Anyway, I've loaded the sales data set. So now what I want to tell us, what we're going to do here is that we're going to be creating a variable. We're going to be creating a variable called increase. Yesterday, did I teach anything like that? Okay, I think I said something like that. But anyway, right now I'm going to create a variable called increase inside a DAX formula. Why is it taking so long? Okay, 6,000 rows loaded. Still taking time. Sorry, I just have to calm down with this laptop. For some reason, it's slower today. I think I've done a lot of things since yesterday that is affecting. Okay, one second. Careful. Keep on. This is what happens when opening something else also. Okay, so now that I've updated our data, I want to create a new measure, a new DAX calculation. So let's create our calculations table for one. Yes, let's just create our calculations table. Let me create that on the side. Let's create a table called calculations of all these new measures that we're going to be creating in this particular class. So calculations. Is that what I'm supposed to name it? To ask me that why am I creating something without what's happening today now? So now I've created a new measure that will hold my okay. My screen is stagnant. Wow. Okay, so you guys can hear me, but my screen is stagnant. Okay. I think I see what's going on. I see a bit of what's going on. Okay, I'm showing the wrong screen. Can you guys see the right screen now? Still not showing the right screen. How about this one? I guess it's time for me to get a new laptop. It seems like it's nice to make people go and buy a new laptop. Have you seen this one? Which screen gonna go in sharing? My Power BI. Okay, so have you seen this particular one? This one that is meant to be showing. This one that is meant to be showing. I created a new table for calculations that I'm going to be doing today. So is in that new measure that I will not create that increase the total sales with increase. Want to create a column where we are going to be able to we are going to be able to calculate the total sales with increase, because that total sales with increase accounts for inflation in the city, I mean in the country, something like that. So now we are going to rename this one total sales with increase. Yes, total sales with increase. Total sales with increase. Normally we've learned all these things yesterday, right? But I just want to use it to show what context means. Total sales with increase. I'm doing further examples on how to work with DAX formulas. Okay, variables. So now we're going to define a variable here. Our formula, our new measure called total sales increase. We're going to be defining a variable here. Did I click create new measure? It's created as a column. This thing is a column. So now new measure. New measure. Yes, we can't feel it. Now, okay, so total sales will increase. For one, we'll now first create a variable. Some of us know what a variable is, right? A variable in terms of like programming or in terms of basically math, anything. A variable, like we'll just assign a value to something else for now. So now we're going to assign a value called so okay. So now to go down, I'm going to use control and enter. Define a variable called increase and put it to 0 point. Our increase is going to be what? Let's use 5%, 0.5 or 1. Let's use 10% increase in the nation, like in terms of the values, in terms of money. So now, what we're going to do next, after we've done that, so we tell our, our system what to return as the key. Okay, so now our VR increase is equals to that. Then we'll tell you that it should return the new the answer as calculations. Oh shit. I'm meant to continue on our file from yesterday. Oh, I think I'm bugged today. Guys, let me first apologize for today. I'm kind of today is the start, so I'm kind of a bit bugged. Let me do this. We'll create an increase on the price. Let's use the price. Return, okay, sales brackets, item cost, item price. How would I bring out this thing? That's it's supposed to be connected to a measure. Return. I'm also debugging like you guys, so I hope you guys are watching. Sales. I don't know why it's not bringing out my data sets here. So let me do that first. see what it says, please. I think I'm wasting too much time here. So I'm supposed to make a new video. I'm supposed to be editing. Why is my data set not showing, please? There's a problem with this thing. I think I'll have to pause this and come back later. Sorry to have wasted your time for now, guys, but I think I'll come back and do this later for you guys. But now let me share my DAX. I was wrong of it. Anyway, I'll come back and show you guys how to use this calculator later with a better way. But for now, I'll just quickly move to what we have next, which is Power BI dates. Time is going, that's why. So Power BI dates. How this works? Normally in a company, you're going to have data, right? And most data will surely have a column named dates accompanied with it. The dates we bought this one, the dates we sold this one, the dates we went to register this thing, the dates we acquired this thing. But then most times they'll just come with their normal formats, that 2022 slash something. So basically most times people have to work with dates in different ways. See, like now, so now Power BI has created a lot of date functions, that we can use to like format our dates and time, because we might need a specific thing in our dates. So now I put an example date here. That's 2024 02/14. That's 2024 February. That's basically Valentine's Day. Anyway, so we have date and time functions, time intelligence functions, and format functions. So date and time functions will most times extract a particular part of the date for you that you need. Yeah. Most times they just extract a particular. So now year of this date that is up here is what? Year 2024. That's what year brackets dates will do. To extract the year for us. So now and the next one in line is quarter. Quarter will extract the quarter that the date is from. And then months extract the month that the date is from. So now what format functions do is, how do we want the date to appear? We can format our date to appear a particular way. So now if we format the date to appear with this particular, and we put this particular text here. One thing about that, Power BI has a lot of formats. A lot. Let me check where I can show you guys the formats that Power BI has. Power BI has a lot of formats where you can use. Power BI has a lot of formats. Let me share that screen with you guys. Present something else. Window title. So look up here where we have our. There's somewhere here is our format. Okay, where's our format? Power BI has a lot of things that works with it. Let me open our date stuff. We will do dates. Oh yeah, okay. So can we see this? I want to some thumbs up to show that we can see this right now. Okay, so now see the dates that are showing, the date formats that are showing, a lot of these formats. 14th of March 2001 in numbers, in text, 14 March 2001. 14 March 2001, Wednesday 14 March 2001, 14/03, 14/3. It just basically puts it in a lot of formats. So if we put DDDD, that's 4Ds, right? So apparently, so now from what you can see here, let me open the slide back to the slide. From what you can see here, we'll see that when we put format dates with DDDD, what will it return? According to what you have in our Power BI, it will return the day that date is. Maybe February 14 this year was a particular date. That's what it will return. If you put format date with this H colon NN colon SS, it will return the time, because you are asking for that format that it can find in that date. So basically, Power BI has a lot of that, because we will be working with dates a lot, and also it has time intelligence functions. From what this thing looks like already, you can know what some of these functions work for. Like last date, what does it mean? Last date, I think it will return the last date within a range. Like now, if we have the dates in our column, in a particular date column, we have it from 1st of September to 31st of December, and we put last date on that column. That it should bring out what the last date is. It's probably return a measure named a measure that will return 31st of December as the last date. Date add. What does date add do again? Date add. Let me ask some. Since we all know what AI is, but okay. So let's see. Date add function in Power BI returns a table that contains a column of dates, either shifted forward or backwards. Like now, obviously, you can see date add. It means that it will add a number of days or a number of months from the particular dates that we put as our arguments. So things like that, dates between, it will return how many days or how many weeks are in between the two dates you give it as an argument. So things like that. Basically, we have those things so that we can work better with dates. So now, why do we work with dates? I mean, what are the uses for time-based analysis? In case we are analyzing if something like a forex, like forex data or financial data or comparative analysis. Like now, some of us are doing business. Some of us are doing business. Yeah, or we are working for a business company, and they ask us to do some analysis, like year-on-year analysis, month-over-month analysis, like how much did we make this year over last year? 2%. How much did we make? So things like that, we need those date tables for it. For custom calendar reporting. For custom calendar reporting for things like if you want to create a new calendar, yes. For or fiscal calendar. Some companies use their calendars from, okay, let me use the school. So in a school now, most times the session is from September to May. So instead of just you keeping it like that without a date table, we can create a date table in our Power BI. A date table is completely separate date table that will help us to make that will help us a completely different date table that will help us to do that will help us to know that okay, it's from September to August. Okay, so now another use is dynamic date filters for real-time and automatic updating reports. We'll see all that as we move forward. Advantages of working with date tables or using date tables: consistent time intelligence for accurate period comparison. Just like I said earlier, built-in data hierarchies, they are better because they help us to be able to split our data instead of looking for a particular day. Again, we can just use a chart to get into the hierarchies of our different dates. It supports time intelligence functions like total year to day and date add, so that most times things like this we just need to see it in visualization and understand it. So now we can have some issues working without date tables. The reason why we need date tables, because these things will probably happen when we don't use date tables. Without a date table, performing time-based calculations like quarter to date, year to date, or month-on-month analysis can be complex and error prone without leading to inconsistent results across reports. So now, sorry, another issue of working without a date table is the limited time intelligence functions. Normally, when we want to do something like all those month on month, year on year, rolling average, some of us that might move for some things about forex, things like simple moving average or exponential moving average, things like that. Without a time intelligence table, we cannot be able to calculate those things because it goes for years on years without end. Manual and complex data handling. Sometimes we also need to handle our data hierarchies because we want to see something happen in quarter three every single year. We want to see something that happen in month four of every year. Without those things, we can't do it. So now there are functions that we use to create a data table. If we want to, because we have most times we have to create our data table from scratch. Normally we'll have scraped data from the website, we'll have gotten particular data from the website, but we'll not have any data table that comes with it. So most times we'll have to create our data table from scratch. Syntax for that is calendar or calendar auto. Calendar auto is down here. But like most times they use calendar auto, but this calendar, what it does, you just put the start date and the end date you want to work with. And then it will return a table with a single column like this on this right hand side that contains a continuous set of dates inclusive of specific dates. So now if I open this calendar function and I put the start date as 1st of April 2022, and I put the end date as 2nd of August 2024, it will create a column that has all those dates in between it, from that to that. But why we use calendar auto more is because calendar auto returns a date table. So what's going on? What's that sound? Okay, all the ends in 15 minutes. Okay, the calendar auto, what it does, it creates a date table based on the dates when you found in your data model. So now if I put if I in calendar auto, what you have to put is the end month of your fiscal year you want to work with. So just like I said, let's say the school year is from August to July every year, which is it go like August 2022 to July 2023. What we can do is with calendar auto, we put 7. Yes, calendar auto 7. What calendar auto 7 does is it returns a calendar starting from the month after that 7th month, which is August, and then it goes all the way to the next year, July, which is that 7th. So now, if we were to do it for a normal year, January to December, all we do is calendar auto 12. Calendar auto 12 will return what comes after 12, which is January to the next December. Basically, it's called the fiscal year. The fiscal year is a 1-year period that organizations use for accounting and financial reporting purposes. If you've ever seen any financial reports ever shared by companies like Spotify, Apple, Microsoft, they share their own. I know Spotify shares their own. But like companies like that, if you ever see their financial reports, I just want to charge my laptop. If you ever see their financial report, you see that they use a fiscal year period. It will be like things like year on year, like things like quarter on quarter. That how much more their money increase. One person that is always in the news for how much their profits are increasing quarter on quarter right now is a company called Nvidia. I think they create chips and stuff like that. Chips. So now then they have to calculate things like month on month, year on year. If not, if they don't calculate things like that, they will not be able to know how much they are making in a specific period of time. Anyway, moving on, I'll be back to that. Moving on, where were we? Creating a date table. So now, just like I said earlier, you can look at this in the slide later on your own. How to create a date table, which you can start by specifying the starting month of your fiscal year. This when it starts in April 2021, just before the earliest of that date, and it starts in May and ends in April. So 1 minute, I don't know, my laptop is not charging. Okay, we are good. Moving on. Now I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a date table. Yep, let's do that. I hope this one moves smoothly. Okay, now I'll be sharing my Power BI again. Let me share my Power BI. Where is it? She presents something else. Okay, so sharing. Are we still in this class, please? Are we still in this class? Let's make sure that we're still in this class. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so now back to what I was doing earlier, creating a date table. File. Okay, so now this is a blank report. These are table view, these are model view, and these are reports view. We don't have any. This measure thing is disturbing me. Let me delete it. I'll delete it for now. Okay, so these are our sales table. So now what we are going to do to create a new table for our dates so that we can do better analysis. We are going to come to this model in here. Is it on the tab that is up here? What do you call this tab again? I'm sure they taught you guys in your first class. On this modeling, on this ribbon here. So now we see modeling tab. We click modeling. They will create new table. We are following right. Okay, so new table. Now in this table, I'm going to use calendar auto. Calendar auto. So what calendar auto does, it just creates it based on our. It creates a date table based on our model already. So now, if this is our sales data, in the date of our sales data, we have we have dates from when to when. When can I use it? If we have dates of 20 years, it creates a date table for that is only for those 20 years, and can do that in, as fast as your laptop is. Can do that. So now let's create a date table. Now with this calendar auto, I'll just click after typing calendar auto, after creating new table, I just put calendar auto there and I'll press tick. So calendar auto can work without an argument and also with an argument. Okay. So as our table created, did we see any error? Is anybody also doing this? Okay, so someone has created their table right now. So now right here down here we can see the table. We now have something on our data pane by the right. We are seeing this right. By the right on our data pane, we have something called table. That's the table we just created, but it's still named table. So we can rename it. Let's rename it to dates. Just DATES. Dates. So now it has been renamed, and then we can move on to. So now in our it came up here because now it starts from D. So this place is arranged alphabetically, obviously. So dates will come up. So now when we open that table, we cannot see anything in our canvas here. But if we go to our table view, we are seeing it there. What are we seeing in our table view, please? Our table view, you can see dates, just one single column, which is what I described earlier, a single column of dates based on your model. So now if our data was for 20 years, start from the very first date in our data, the beginning of the very first date, and then the end of the year of that date, of that last date. So now it starts from 1st of January 2017. I don't know how far down it goes, and I'm not sure I want to find out. Do I want to find out? Let me try to find out. The very last date here is 31st of December 2020. So basically, it gave us a calendar from 1st of January 2017 to 31st of December 2020. That's exactly what calendar auto will do. It will create a key for your timetable based on it will create a what do you call it to a calendar for your data model. So now what we are going to do next, I hope we are looking. What we are going to do next now, model view. We have table view, we have report view, and then now we have model view. In our model view now, we are going to come here and we can see our model view. We have a date table, we have a sales table, but there's no link between them. And normally in a Power BI, when we are building a Power BI model, there has to be link. I don't know if they've taught you guys data modeling. Yeah, I think so. So now there has to be a model. There has to be a model. Sorry, there has to be a relationship. So now I'm going to connect. What do you can someone tell me what I'm supposed to connect the dates to here? Someone just show me what they think I'm supposed to connect it to. In the chat. Put it in the chat. Okay. Yeah, but like I know I'm connecting to dates. So which date? Okay, nice, nice. Okay, okay, okay. I see that one of their killing. See, so we thank God, a lot of people got it saying other dates, but then I'm seeing that someone said delivery due dates. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to go back to something I said in the first class. In the first class, I mentioned something about studying our data sets. Like now, if I load a data table or a data set in my Power BI or in Excel or anywhere, before you even do anything at all, you just look at it. Just like explore. It's called data exploration. You just look at it like, what does this? What is this? What does it look like? What does it do? What does each column do? Normally, you have a file where each column explains what it does. So basically, it's going to explain what each column does and things like that. So for now, we're going to, based on that data exploration, we would have seen that order dates is the dates that those things were ordered. Why delivery due date is the day they are supposed to be delivered. So now, what we are going to do is we are going to link it to order dates instead. Esther, hi Esther. Do you understand what I said now? Esther, is Esther there? Esther. Hi, Esther Olani. Anyway, I guess we have to move on then. Is my network not working? Can everybody else hear me? Okay, good. I was wondering why Esther.
Please take it
Esther
again.
replied already. Check the chat. This thing.
What did you say? Okay, okay,
Esther
okay.
replied you. Check the chat.
Okay, so what I'm saying is during your data exploration, you notice what each column is for and what it entails. Now, based on our data exploration, we can see that is our delivery our order date that is like the main date of this thing. Do you understand now? For now,
Yeah.
like yeah, because our order date is the day the products were ordered. We know that this is a sales data set. So it's our order date that is like the main date. The delivery due date is like is something else, but we can use it for order analysis, but it's not really that major in the long run. So based on that is our order date that we're going to be using right now to connect. So eventually it will still link up. So now we are to connect them. We're going to carry the date and just carry it, and drop it on top of order dates. Once we do that, sometimes it will pop up something like this. Are you guys seeing this new window that is popping up? Okay, you can't see that. What's wrong with this Power BI itself? It used to do somehow. Let me do something real quick. There's a window that is showing on my screen that you guys cannot see. So that's why I want to show you my screen. Okay. You're supposed to show it now. Okay, yep, that's it. Can you guys see that window? Can you guys see this window now? Okay, Can you see this window? This one that is showing new relationship. Okay, let me show you guys how it came up. Is this still showing up? The network is getting bad. I'm supposed to have minimized that thing. Uh-huh. So now, when I told you guys that we're going to carry dates, right? We're going to carry dates and drop it on top of other dates. Most times when we do that, it pop up this window. When it pops up this window, what it's asking is that, okay, what are we doing? So it's creating a relationship. Normally in database management systems, there's something called an entity relationship diagram where it shows that this one is connected to this one through this one. So now if imagine we're what I use we're a company now, right? And so us and we are a department or in a company called sales part. Then there's the marketing part. Then there's the production part. So based on that, sorry, that production part, how would they have a link to the sales part? How? To be through a product, a singular product. So a product will be the connection from a production part to the sales part. Same thing with the sales and marketing. It should be a particular product that will link the marketing and sales, even though there are multiple products. So eventually, you just know that okay, a particular product from production side is the one that will link to sales because sales will sell it multiple times, but on production part they can produce it only one time. So basically, there's something called cardinality. I think we are meant to research on that. And maybe I should search for what cardinality is. Okay, let me show you guys my screen and search for what cardinality is. Cardinality. I should not look at my key. Cardinality in Power BI. So now, cardinality in Power BI refers to the relationship between two tables in a data model. It describes how many unique values from one table are related to unique values in another table. Does that explain it well? Let me search. Okay, let me just use this one like that. It refers to the relationship between two tables in a data model. I wish I had an example to explain it better, but I think when we are someone, you guys just write that down, cardinality, and just do some small research on it. Cardinality based on database management system. Just search that. You can even ask ChatGPT, and then it will give you a good way to understand it. So why I'm explaining cardinality is because we have to explain how that date links to that other date. So now look at this. On the dates table, there is a single date for every day. But on the sales table, right? On the sales table, there's a single date can appear twice. Why? A single date can appear twice because multiple sales can be made on one single day, right?